Oh, I went all in for 29K.
Well, as I said from last week or the week before, you got hearts. So are you Andrew or Forrest?
My screen name is Forrest.
Your screen name is Forrest. Okay. We'll go by Forrest. Okay. So you got a hand here that you played from the Lodge live stream. And the goal here, if we use this one, is to splice some footage in for YouTube. But this was a hand where the villain is Doug Polk. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So set the hand up.
Dog was on the cutoff, so I got folded to him, and he raised to 250.
Okay. So what's the size of the game, by the way?
25.50, everyone's straddling to 100.
So it's 25, 50, 100. And how deep are you guys?
Dog Polk has 100K, I have 30K.
All right. So 30K effective. And in the cutoff, Polk raises to 250. So just kind of a small raise. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Guy right after, three bets to 800.
So button, three bets to 800. Okay.
My bad. Yeah, I'm on the button.
All right.
Doug's on the hijack.
All right. So Doug is in the hijack. So that's what I thought. Hijack, Doug opens at 250. Cutoff.
Yeah.
Cutoff, three bets to 800. And Hero's on the button here, right?
I'm on the button.
Yep. Okay. So Hero's on the button. Yep. And
I four bet to 2,300.
so Hero four bets the button to 2,300 with
7-8 suited.
wow. Okay. This was by the way, I'll put this in when I get it. I think it was what was it in July sometime, right? July 21st or something.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
recent.
I mean, this hand really went down. I watched it. So Doug goes to 250 from the hijack. Cutoff goes to 800. You four bet to 2,300. Is there a reason why you decided to call four bet here as a bluff?
Well, I wanted to take it down. No reason. It didn't seem that since everyone I just thought his range Doug's range was pretty wide since it got folded to him. So I just thought he was trying to take the blinds.
I mean, had
So
he
I thought
right?
so I thought if I four bet maybe he would fold and I'd just be up against the guy next to me, or maybe he would fold too.
I mean, once in a while to throw in some four bet bluffs. It's good as a partial, I would say here. You're deep enough though. It's you kind of go a couple different ways with it. Like if you're in a situation where there is only so much stack depth where the response is for Doug to like five bet all in or fold, then you'd probably want to go the blocker route and have an ace or a king in your hand. But at 30K effective, which is 300 big blinds, with 100 in the straddle, and then him starting off to 250, which is kind of a small open, you probably want to have some sort of playable hand. So I'd rather have 7-8 suited here than like king 4 suited like it was like 2009, because you might get called in some spots
Yeah.
and it's just more playability. So you 4 bet to 2,300, okay?
Yeah. And then he five bets to 6,800. So now I know that.
Jeez.
So now I know he has a legit hand. Yeah.
Okay.
So cutoff folds goes back to me. Um, I had seen Doug like there was a hand the other day I played with him. It was an also pretty big hand. It was a 40K pot where he folded pocket kings on the turn to me. And earlier that session he folded a pretty good flush to me. Also, he was right both times. So
Are you
I'm not
Canadian?
sure.
Are you Canadian, by the way?
No, I'm not.
Are you from like Minnesota or something?
No, I'm half white and half Hispanic.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. I got you. It's
Get
weird.
after her.
It's kind of a similar, okay, kind of a Spanglish type accent.
I do, yeah.
Yeah,
It is
runs
Spanish.
in. It kind of sounds similar for some reason to Canadian to me. Anyways, so
Hmm.
you're kind of thinking about. So you're thinking he five bets here and he might kind of be full of shit, right? Basically.
No,
Yeah.
no, I thought he had a good hand. I thought it was good, but I didn't think it was just the way I was looking at him. I thought it was a good hand, but I mean, I didn't think it was pocket aces or pocket kings. Maybe it could be, but I didn't think it was that good. And I had seen him fold those. I had seen him fold like pocket queens and pocket jacks and like pretty strong hands before. So I thought if I six bet him, I mean, I don't I have to have aces there. I mean, I'm not gonna six bet with seven deuce. I mean, they the stream before, like a couple of days before that, I was in another stream with him, and I did bluff successfully with seven deuce three times. So I did have that like in my repertoire, but I had never six bet ever without having a good hand. I don't think ever in my life I've six bet not having pocket aces. So
Well, here's the thing that I would say though, and this is such a rare spot in a cash game, and there's a couple things going on here, right? So you have to
I
make
would have folded. I would have folded if I was Doug. That's why.
well,
But
first of all, you got to make sure, and I think you're right here. You got to make sure that the threshold is not broken. And when I talk about that is that you have to make sure that he hasn't committed more than 1/3 of his stack, which he hasn't, because you guys are 30,000 effective. Because this would be a huge spew. Anytime that he's going to get 2 to 1 or more, if you shove, then it's just a huge spew. Because most of the time, he's not going to call. Now he's not supposed. Excuse me, he's not going to fold. Now he's not supposed to break that threshold. Number one. So you do have stack depth enough to do this, but then reverting actually back to what I had just talked about, where when you cold four bet, if his only response was to five bet all in or fold, if you wanted to make this play as a six bet, now I would rather have hands that block some of the automatic call range that he would have. So I'd rather have like an ace in my hand here. The reason why having an ace in your hand is best is because now you're blocking pocket aces and ace king, which
okay,
which are the ones that he would do this with. A king being second because you're blocking pocket kings and ace king.
yeah.
But I think an ace probably would be the one. So you kind of turn this one around where at your stack depth, you had a better hand of four bet because if he's called, you'd rather have 7-8 suited than king 3. But now that he five bets, and you're not blocking any of that sort of thick value, I mean, I did commentary on him one or two nights. I don't know if he had a rough go the first few times that he played it, maybe the first 5 to 10 times that he played on his own stream. Adjusting to full ring, I think. But I mean, I know eventually he's going to win. He's going to make the adjustment. And I don't know if he's throwing in like a 5-bet bluff here. I mean, obviously it's easy for me to say. I don't hate your play, but I think when he 5-bets here, I'm just going to fold. You know what I mean? I'm just going to fold my hand. That's kind of my take. But so what did you end up doing?
Oh, I went all in for 29K.
Well, as I said from last week or the week before, you got heart. So hero jams for 29K. And then what does Doug do? Like what is his mannerisms like?
All right, thinks about it for like 30 seconds, and he was like, "Well, I've seen you play seven deuce before, so I call."
But he didn't he seemed pained, right? Like he shook his head, right?
Yeah, yeah, he shook his head.
So
It looked like he was gonna fold like for the first 15 seconds, and then he just like talked himself into it. I guess I don't know.
so Doug seems pained, but eventually makes the call. And I think for people in the live chat, well, we know that he's not slow rolling, so he doesn't have aces. And I don't know if he would put on that act necessarily with kings. So what do we think that he has? Probably one of two hands here, which is probably going to be ace king, I would say, and queen queen. And what did he end up having?
Queen, queen.
Queen queen. So you get it in for 60,000 with 7-8 suited versus queen queen. Before you called in, I wanted to actually look because I thought it was I didn't know off the top of my head. So you're only like 21 to 22%. I think it was 23% with 7-8 suited against queen queen. You are doing much, much better if you have like king 6 suited here or a suited ace. I mean, you're like almost 33 to 35%. So that again, that's a spot where when you're called, like you are doing much, much worse with 7-8 suited than if you had made this play like as a 6-bet with like ace 4 suited. So not only is it what I had said before, where you're blocking a lot of the thick calls from him with aces and ace king if you were to do this with an ace. But when called, you have far superior equity with an ace X hand here in an extreme scenario than 7-8 suited. So unfortunately, it didn't really work out for you, right? You were drawing dead on the turn here. It wasn't even a sweat.
Oh yeah.
Wow. So hero loses.
Yeah,
Are
I
you
just lost. I just
are you from Austin? Because I don't think I've ever played with you watching. Did you just travel for that show?
no. I live in Austin. I've
Oh,
played in
okay.
it before.
But we never played together
I've
though when I
played.
lived there, right?
Yeah, no. I've played with you once, maybe at Texas Card House
Oh,
on the
okay.
live stream.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool. Well, no lack of heart, but like I said, if you didn't take away from that, like if you ever get into a situation like that where you want to do a 6-bet or some sort of extreme last bet all in, block the calling hands, and usually having an ace in your hand will give you better equity than any other hand.
So if Doug was calling in and he was saying this hand to you, what would you have told him to do? To call?
I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to usually queen against a 6-bet all in 300 big blinds deep in live is usually not good. That's what I would tell him.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, you know how things go on Texas live streams, though, man. You know what I mean? Like he would probably rather be up against ace or king there and lose than possibly fold queen and have the best hand. Can you imagine how he would have looked if he had folded queen and you won with 7-8 suited? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's another thing you got to sort of take into account, that if he actually has something that's borderline, he's not going to want to get bluffed on his own show, right?
Okay. So it's too borderline.
Well, I just think if he's borderline, he's going to call. But anyways, thanks for the call. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right.